Hey there, bestie. I'm Loriemi, your What to Read Next podcast host. Join me as we dive into exciting new reads that'll have you reaching for your TBR pile in no time. From group and mysteries to spicy romances, we'll explore it all and help you find your next favorite book. So grab a cup of tea, cozy it up, and let's discover some amazing reads together.
Hi, Aurora Rose. Welcome to What to Read Next podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So happy to have you here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a romance author. I've been writing for, 11 years now.
Yeah.
I mostly write romantic suspense. And every once in a while, I like to step out of my normal genre and try something new.
Yeah. Yes. So talk to us about your romance journey. When did you get started? Like what it was like? I mean, writing. Like it was probably you were writing around the 50 Shades of Grey era. Like,
Yeah. So I started writing in 2013 with my first book until November. And when I wrote that, I had no idea what was going to happen. I had no idea how much writing was going to change my life. I just knew that I loved reading and there were never enough of the books that I liked reading out on the market at that time. And self-publishing was like a new thing. And so I jumped in head first and started writing. And I was very lucky to have success with my first book. And then that's just continued on. Yeah.
That's amazing. And so you've been writing for a long year, so it's been a long road.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about King of Nothing. What is the elevator pitch? Yeah.
It's so hard to put this book into words.
Yes.
It's very difficult because it's sad in some ways, but it's also like a healing journey between two people who are a little lost and they're trying to figure things out. And then they stumble upon each other and cling together and they go on this road trip journey together to spread Aurora's mother's ashes. And they end up finding peace and like love and each other along the way.
Yeah. So it's not just about like your writing process for this book particular, because it's probably more emotional. It starts by basically telling you a big loss for both characters and then the healing process of grief. But it's not this linear process that you just like you heal one day and Laura is dealing with like family issues and like drama and like yelling and all this the process waking up and she's escaping, but she's not escaping, she's just trying to find her way.
Yeah.
Valkyrie.
Yeah. She's trying to figure out how to move on after the loss of her mom, who she was very close with. And she doesn't really have a plan. Her only plan is to just finish the journey that her and her mom were planning on going on together. And the process of writing this book was hard.
Yeah.
But I think I needed it in a way because my mom she has stage 4 COPD and some other health things. And so my time with my mom is like very limited and we haven't always had the best relationship in the past. I've done a lot of forgiving and soul searching and being out myself. Like, what kind of relationship do I want with her for this little bit of time that I have left? And my son absolutely that's his grandma. He loves her. So I think I needed this book in a way. And it was kind of a healing journey for me as well.
Yeah.
I
think for me as a reader, it was a young journey. I'm now close to my mom, but we have our ups and downs, and I come from a lot of trauma in my childhood, like pretty high in the trauma scale. And so I think for me to heal the sense of like of forgiveness and acceptance and allowing yourself to just be. And I was just in therapy right now, and I was talking about it on the street for my dad, and coming to that relationship, and like you have to mourn that. You have to mourn
You
the
do.
loss of it, and mourning the loss. I don't know what it'll look like if they leave this planet, but like right now, like it's part of that feeling of self forgiveness and the part of finding yourself in that place and
Yeah.
feeling the feelings and not avoiding the feelings, because that's what we normally do. We'll just avoid the feelings, we'll ignore the feelings, we're not letting them happen, and then they explode, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. I
Yeah.
think
Life takes you by surprise. Yeah. You can't
yeah,
hide
it's not.
from it.
So I think I really appreciate Laura's journey to just heal and understand, like, she had this big blowout and she literally blew up her whole life. She was like, well, we're not going to be with this guy. We're not going to do this. We're not going to be this now. We're going to do this journey. And I'm going to take it as it comes and just allowing it to come. And woman just trying to be like protected. And love.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that he needed her too, because she was just with him because she liked the person that he is. And it had nothing to do with his status or his family's status
Yeah.
or what he could do for her, what he could give her. And I think he also needed, maybe even needed somebody to take care of, but also to take care of him.
Yeah.
And to show him like there's there's a whole life outside. Sometimes we get very comfortable in our bubbles and we don't like to explore that. And I think that one thing that Elora had learned from her mom is live life while you can.
Do as much as you want. Like, I think it's accepting that you have one life to live and you get to live it. You get to choose how you want to live it. You get to choose how you want to stop, and you get to choose when you want to stop suffering, when you want to stop doing that part of it. And like, I'm not willing
Yeah.
to do that anymore. And it's a choice. It's a powerful choice. It's not the easy choice. It's a choice that works for her. Because
Yeah.
she wanted to live a better life. She wanted to live not a better life, but like a quality of life that will help her to end her life, like end the chapter.
Yeah.
As opposed to be like, I'm gonna make myself suffer because I want to extend the suffering a little bit further.
Yeah.
So let's take it back to your books. And so you write romantic suspense, you write a little bit of everything outside of it, and so often. What do readers pick up? Like, where do you suggest readers to pick up their backlist that they're reading to help out thing? Like, what's your signature book? You're like, this is the book you want to start, or a series, and you're like, you should try this, you should try both. Or,
I feel like, so I have a series. Well, the first one is Before We Fall.
yes.
I love this book. It is a favorite of mine just because I love when women kind of take control of their own lives and decide to like, I don't need to be stuck in the situation that I am just because it's comfortable or just because I'm scared of like what might happen if I leave. And so she's a single mom, he's a detective, and there's mystery in there. It's kind of like the mystery though, it doesn't directly affect their relationship. It's almost like listening to like a mystery podcast. So
Yeah.
you're like tingling the mystery as the story goes along, but like you're not directly affected by it. But I love this series. I think that would be a great place for readers who kind of want to get a feel for my romantic suspense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that. What kind of books do you tend to read?
I love fantasy romance. It's one of my favorites. I mean, there's that's one of my favorites. I love also romantic suspense. That's also a favorite of mine.
Yeah.
Lately, I've been reading a lot of fantasy. I found a new to me author. Her name, let me see if I can find it on my Kindle. Let's see. What is her name? Zoe Draven. Yeah, it's so good. I've been really like just plowing through her entire backlist. So,
Yeah.
I love fantasy. I mean, the normal Sarah J. Maas and Rebecca Yarros and all of them. My romance reading actually started with J.R. Ward.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's how I got into reading. And then I loved like the alpha male
Yeah.
hero. I mean, what's not to love?
Yeah.
And from her, I found Kristen Ashley.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there's these guys but they're not vampires.
That's they're other things. They're other readers.
So that's how I started getting into reading like contemporary romance, romantic suspense. And then from there, that was why there was just never enough of those books on the market. And that's why I started writing.
I love this. I love this journey. So,
Yeah.
Aurora Rose, tell us where to find you online.
You can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on what's the new one? Threads.
Yep.
And my username is always Aurora Rose R. But yeah, I'm on all social media, all platforms.
So, thank you, Aurora Rose, for being on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. It's been fun.
Thanks for joining me on this episode of the What to Read Next podcast. If you enjoy our bookish conversations and want more recommendations, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Also, head on over to the What to Read Next blog for a list of books mentioned in today's show. Happy reading!